One of the assignments for this class is the poster proposal. This proposal is based off of the format. It has been developed. This assignment has been developed utilizing the format that the North Carolina School Counselor Association uses for the graduate student poster session in the fall. We did this because your faculty hope that as you exit this program, or while you're in the program and as you exit the program, that you really get a sense of how you are joining the professional discourse. You're going to do really cool things in your work as a counselor. And as you do things that work well, we want you to share those ideas and those strategies and the great things that you develop with other counselors. You're part of the professional discourse. And what you learn can help to inform all of us about how we practice counseling, how we assess, how we are accountable, and how we assess impacts, right? You have a lot to offer. One of the primary ways we offer this in the professional discourse is through conference presentations. And we hope that you're going to attend conferences and gain your CEUs, and that in addition to attending conferences, that you will be a presenter at those conferences. So one of the assignments for the class, you're doing a presentation in this class, at the end of class, that is a presentation suitable for you to present at a professional conference, a state level conference or a local conference. This is a great presentation. What you'll develop and what you'll share in the class is really a great presentation for one of those conferences. The North Carolina School Counselor Association has a conference in the fall, and they have a section that includes just that they solicit graduate student poster sessions. You already have a poster developed when you finish this class, so you can just present it at that conference. You can submit a proposal and present it at the conference. But to be able to present at the conference, you have to first submit a proposal, and then that proposal gets evaluated by a team of reviewers for the conference, and they determine whether or not your proposal is accepted and becomes a presentation at the conference. This assignment is part of that process, okay? So for this assignment, you'll develop a poster proposal form, this form. You'll complete that for your project, and then hopefully you'll be able to use that with just a few minor tweaks to submit in the summer when that call for proposals goes out, so that you can present in the fall if you'd like to. The conference is in Greensboro. It's a great conference, and a lot of you will, your projects are going to be really cool, and you'll have something to offer there to contribute. So that's what this assignment is. I want to share a little bit with you about this assignment, what you can expect to see. First, you see the due date. The assignment is due for us by March 20th. And then here you've got the first presenter information. So who's going to be listed first? The primary presenter is the one that carries the bulk usually of the responsibility for the presentation. In this class, you're really shared partners, so you can list either partner first. But you share some basic information, your university or college's ECU. It's fine with me, these addresses, this is part of what they require on the form. But for us, if you just want to list the department's address, that's fine. You can do 213 Ragsdale, that's fine, totally fine there. Okay, this part is just basic information included. Your email and your phone and your address, this is what they would use to send you information about the conference. I have your email, so just you can fill that in, but this part is less weighty for the assignment, okay? But you do have to fill it in. This part is what really matters. So as you do a poster conference proposal, a presentation proposal, one of the things they're going to look for, they have to establish your professional credibility. This ensures the integrity of the conference and the information that's being shared at the conference. They're going to grant contact hours or CEUs, continuing education credits, to people who attend the conference and attend sessions. And so presenters have to be credentialed. Do you have the academic eligibility as a presenter to share this information? Do you have the relevant expertise and skills? Are you going to be a person who's a strong voice to present this information and from an informed perspective? You have to establish that credibility. So what you have to submit for this assignment and for the proposal for the North Carolina School Counselor Association is a short bio or a vita. Either is fine. For the class, you have to submit a bio, okay? This is an opportunity to reflect on what are your professional expertise, your training, what makes you a credible presenter about the topic you're saying you would like to present, okay? So try to draft something that shares your strengths and your abilities, your expertise, your experience, orients the reviewers to who you are and what you have to offer, so you share that here. Second presenter provides some basic contact information and then provide a bio for that person as well. Okay. If you have a third partner, make sure that you just paste in information for a third presenter. For the North Carolina School Counselor Association, a lot of times they're looking for two presenters, but 3, you can add that information in too. All right. So for the class, make sure that you add the bio for the contact information and bio for your third presenter if you have a third member of your team. Then you come to the meat of what would show up in the conference bulletin. This is what people will read initially, and they'll decide, do I want to go to this presentation or not? Does it have something useful to offer me for my position or not, right? So for you, what is your title? Make a good title, something that catches people's attention, catches people's attention and orients them to your focus. Then some of you will, as you start to think about your abstract, remember, no more than 75 words. If you go over 75, those extra words don't get in the bulletin, okay? That you're limited to 75 words. So make sure you keep it to 75 or less, but no more than 75, okay? Some of you are going to struggle with this part. You're going to say, how do I write this? I haven't finished my project. I don't know what the outcomes are going to be. This is going to be true for most presentations that you submit proposals for, because conference, the way the timeline works for most conferences is that you submit a presentation proposal, you respond to the call for proposals and submit a presentation proposal almost a year before the conference for a lot of your big national conferences, because it takes that long for them in the planning. For your state conferences, you'll find, like for the North Carolina Counseling Association, that conference, you usually submit 6 to 9 months out, right? So like sometime early in the fall, for a spring conference, or if this conference is the North Carolina School Counselor Association happens in the fall, you'll probably be seeing the call for proposals in the spring, early in the spring, or mid to late spring, or early in the summer for that conference. So most times you're not going to have your final data, your final outcomes. You're not going to know exactly what your presentation is going to look like when you submit the proposal, right? So you have to write an abstract that's catchy and that covers your bases and that shares the basic information that you know you will absolutely hit in your presentation, but also leaves room for you to flex and modify to respond to your outcomes and the final impacts of your project, right? So for this one, here's an example. Parental involvement is a critical predictor of post-secondary education success. In today's busy world, school counselors may find it difficult to engage parents in the college planning process. Additionally, for parents of first-generation college students, the admissions process, financial aid opportunities, and campus involvement can be daunting prospects. This poster presents a project designed to engage parents and students and raise awareness of available resources to support college readiness. Now, I know as a reader, when I read this, I know if I go to this poster, I'll learn something about how are we engaging parents and students, but that parent piece, that's going to stick out to me in college readiness. Like, I'm going to get access to some resources, raising awareness of available resources. That's going to be helpful to me. And it sounds like it's going to be a pretty cohesive project, like a project that goes in place versus versus some random resource information. This piece of like, how do we engage them together to involve them in gathering information and resources about resources, the admissions process, financial aid. Like that's something I would probably get information that I can take and drop right down in my school setting if I'm a high school counselor. Okay. So as you think about your abstract, write it like that. Like what will the reader take away from this? Because initially I'm your reader, right? There is a reader who checks out the conference bulletin, but then I'm a participant. I go and I attend your presentation and I listen to what you're talking about and I walk away with resources. What is it I'm going to take away? Make sure that takeaway is pretty clear and make sure that what you've written in your abstract is pretty catchy. You don't want to just say, this poster will show blah, blah, blah. This poster was based on a project we completed and blah, blah, blah. Like make it so it's catchy. So it sounds like something that comes from the professional scholarly conversation. You know, like what are the pieces of information that are really important to know? What am I going to take away? Like kind of orient it initially in your, it's like an abstract. You know, you orient it in the professional topics, issues, literature. Like what do we know to be true? What is the project going to show? And what am I going to take away as a participant? Okay. With this assignment, you'll submit it to me by email. I will provide some feedback to help you to offer some suggestions for things you might like to address with your abstract. And then once you receive my feedback, you decide yay or nay, what parts you want to use and which parts you don't want to use. You send me the revised version, and then we're going to paste them. I will put them all together into a conference bulletin. It'd be the examples that we'll use for our final project presentations. Okay. And we'll probably paste these in. We may do it in bulletin format, or we may put them in with each poster, each e-poster that you develop will be pasted. The abstract will be pasted there initially, and then you open the e-poster to see, okay, to read. If you have any questions about the assignment, please let me know, and I look forward to seeing how you're conceptualizing your projects at this point. Thank you.